All right. Um, I'm gonna put this in gallery view. Hello there. My name is. Um, Welcome to our little discussion for Women's History Month in the Voices of Feminism. Why should I care about it series? Our question today is going to be Voices of Feminism. Should period products be free or more easily accessible? And we have 4 panelists here today to discuss the topic. And yeah, I'll let them introduce themselves, whoever wants to go first.
Hi, I'm Rashmi. I'm not an RVCC student, but I am very much interested in women's issues internationally, and I was very lucky to be invited to be on this panel. I'd like to talk about the period products thing in relation to an international perspective, so I'm happy to be here.
Connie, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Connie. I'm a freshman at Raritan Valley, and I'm very excited to be here.
Hi, my name is Carmen. I'm a sophomore at RVCC, and I am the VP of Finance.
Hi, I'm Sammy. I am a sophomore at Raritan Valley, and I'm the VP of Marketing.
All right, so now that we have all of our panelists introduced, we're going, blah, blah, blah. Each panelist is going to have about 2 minutes to discuss what they believe. And if we have any extra time, we can kind of just go back and forth and bounce off of each other. All right. If anyone wants to go first, go ahead.
I'd be cool with going first. So specifically about when we're addressing the question, should period products be free or easily accessible? Well, one, I think the most important issue to really talk about is the fact that one, women cannot control, women or even just people who experience menstrual cycles cannot control the fact that they are going through those things. And so people who are from impoverished or rural areas, whether it be across the globe or even just here in America, they can't control that they are going through their menstrual cycles. And if they do not have the money or the access to period products, then it tends to be an issue of how they're going to deal with their menstrual cycle each month. Specifically in India, I know this is an issue because well, a lot of women can't afford period products because if they're living in rural villages, they can't, afford expensive foreign products like pads and stuff like that. So the way that they deal with it is that they use rags or other makeshift supplies to try and, obviously deal with their menstrual cycles. But these rags and other makeshift products can lead to infections, which can be like a real issue. And even in America, as we're seeing here, a lot of homeless women, and again, homeless people who do experience menstrual cycles, they don't have access to period products because they are expensive here as well. I mean, an entire package of pads can range in price, and if you're a person who is homeless, you're going to have to make the decision between a warm meal or getting a pad for the month. Or a packet of pads for the month. So I think a lot of homeless people have to resort to toilet paper or just other makeshift supplies. So I think it's genuinely an issue of just, we should have it be free, we should have it be accessible because people can't choose. So that's all I wanted to say.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that point. And I think that infection is a huge risk, especially when there's improper care of periods or just the lack of sanitation. And just to elaborate on your previous point, I've read that homeless women have used old socks and plastic bags as sort of a makeshift diaper. And this, of course, is not effective, nor is it sanitary. So it can lead to a lot of infections. And that's why I think it's extremely important that pads and tampons and other items are more accessible just to improve menstrual hygiene and also just health overall.
Yeah, I agree with Connie and Rashmi that all menstrual products should be free and easily accessible. I see it as toilet paper in the bathroom, or like I don't know, it's just like how everyone needs toilet paper. Like all like women need menstrual products, and you don't like go to the bathroom and like pay 50 cents for toilet paper, so like why should you for a pad or a tampon? So I think it's as simple as that, and that's why it should be free and accessible. And it's really sad that people who have like very low income to like no money at all have to worry about that, um, when it's something that's just be available everywhere, no matter who you are.
Yeah, and I think adding on to what Sammy said, I think in terms of easily accessible, accessible, sorry, accessible. I think we made some strides, I guess, in the U.S. I remember when I was a child, like not child, when I was younger, I remember going to the bathrooms and seeing like period products being like 25 to 50 cents. But now I see like most of them are like free. But I think something that should be talked about is like the quality of it. I remember I forgot one of my pad one time, and I was like forced to use it, and like I remember the quality was just absolutely terrible.
Alrighty, so it seems like we have a lot more time left. I think it's like give or take 10 more minutes left. So if you guys like kind of want to bounce off of each other's ideas, feel free, honestly.
I feel like currently, I know that Scotland has basically subsidized, well, not subsidized, but they've basically made period products accessible and free. They're the first country to do so. And I think in terms of like the quality, right, I think it just has to come down to, I think, us subsidizing period products in America, right, just having government funding for that kind of stuff. Again, I keep on talking about India, but that's just because this is also like an issue in India, is like accessibility to period products. But in India, right, there was like this big movement to make like really cheap, or for cheap manufacturing for pads, so that it's way easier to basically subsidize the prices and contribute them to villages and people who don't have enough money to pay for expensive high quality stuff. So I think it's also all about the manufacturing process. It's all about how we subsidize it, how we manufacture it here. So I think that also has a lot to do with how we would currently, approach the issue of women not being able to have period products.
So I have a question. Do you guys think, since from my experience, like most people use pads and tampons, and like from what I know, it seems to be it's only single use and it does use a lot of plastics. Do you think we should push for more, I guess, more environment safe, more environmentally safe, not safe, friendly, like friendly, such as like Diva cups, and I don't know what's the official name, but like the underwear that absorbs like that.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're talking about, I think that like, I think Diva Cup is like a brand, but like the actual name of it is like menstrual cups, I think, right? Yeah. I agree with you that like we should be pushing more environmentally friendly products like that. I mean, I think it's kind of about um like I think everyone's going to have like their own personal preference to things. Like I think even if like we as like a society like push like menstrual cups, I still think there's going to be those like people who are going to use pads and tampons just because that's what they're used to. Just like how like I know people who like only use tampons and they hate pads, and I know people who only use pads and they hate tampons. And I think there are also another group of people who would like love menstrual cups and like hate pads and tampons, So I think like I do think a lot of people don't know about menstrual cups though, because I think it's like a relatively new thing. Like I think a lot of like older generation people don't really know about it. So I think like since the closest thing to a menstrual cup is kind of like a tampon, I think like maybe in the future, like decades from now, it could eventually replace tampons since it kind of functions the same. I think pads would like always stay like being a thing, just because it's so different. It's not like similar enough to menstrual cups to like for menstrual cups like replace it, if that makes sense. That's my perspective on it.
I feel like, but I mean, I'm pretty sure too, on top of just like menstrual cups and period underwear, I'm pretty sure they also do have like reusable pads that you can like wash in the sink kind of thing. So like cloth pads. I feel like it all depends on, because I feel like, you know, the way that the period products you use generally are inherited from your like parents, like your mother usually telling you, like, this is what I use, you can use this. So I feel like it definitely is going to have to be like a generational thing of like either this generation or the next generation telling their kids, like, hey, these are also options. So you guys can, you know, also use this option or this option. I feel like it mostly has to be like on the parents, I think, because I have a good feeling that like administration or like schools and stuff like that, they can only tell you so much, especially within sex education. So I feel like it's definitely going to be like a conversation like the parents need to have with their kid.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That parents definitely have an influence on like the type of period products that you use. Because like I think if your mother was raised to like use pads, then you most likely would, you know, learn how to use a pad as opposed to like a Diva cup. And I think it also depends on your lifestyle and whether you have the time to sort of switch. Because I know that some products are more long lasting, or at least claim to be, than others. So I think it just depends on whether or not you have the time to sort of um, you know, clean the cup or just reuse a pad, you know.
I feel like also another thing with specifically period products too is that you need to have basically more than one of them. You know what I mean? So that while you're washing out another, you have another. So.
All right. So I think I might bring up a new kind of similar topic, a new kind of similar question to this, and that is, should pads and tampons be accessible in the men's restroom as well as the women's?
Um, okay, I'll go first. In my opinion, yes, it should be in the men's restrooms as well as the women's. Because again, kind of like toilet paper, it's kind of just like an everywhere thing. Like I think like a lot of people, like because I feel like there's that whole argument that like a lot of I don't want to say like straight people, but a lot of like older generation people who like to be like, oh, but like transgender people didn't exist when I was a kid or whatever. And it's like, you know, like they've always existed. It's just that, you know, there is way less embraced by society to like be transgender or to be gay or anything like that. So and that's the argument they would use to be like, oh, you shouldn't have it in like the men's restroom. So I think like once people get past that, I think we will get there. Just like how like, you know, I think this is like a tiny off topic, but I think there should also be like those baby changing stations like in men's restrooms as well, because there are people who have like two dads, you know, like not everyone has like a mom, you know, and that has to happen and stuff. So I think like all bathrooms should just generally have like around the same ish stuff in it, including pads and tampons, but also even like aside from that, like I know that there are people who have like there are girls who have like boyfriends who will like get them like pads and stuff because they're just like, oh, I don't feel like getting a pad right now. So for those people, even, you know, there's no downsides really to having pads and tampons in the men's restroom, honestly. So it's like, why not?
I mean, it's just a thing of accessibility. I completely agree with you, basically. You know, I mean, trans men and trans masculine men, if they haven't transitioned, they're definitely going to still, you know, need menstrual products. So I think the gender delineation of it is stupid, because it's like, you know, those products need to be accessible for everyone, you know, because you're going to have people who need them. Again, we don't price toilet paper here, so there's no point in trying to price products that are essential. And the same thing with the baby changing station. I completely agree with you. I mean, you know, you're going to have fathers who are going to need to take care of their kids, and having it only in the women's restroom implies that only women can take care of their children effectively, which is stupid, because we know there are many single dads and, you know, two fathers in you know, family units that definitely can take care of their kids. So yeah.
I think in addition to making period products more accessible, I think that there needs to be a more open-minded conversation about periods, because, I mean, even in today's society, it's seen as such a stigma, and that, you know, it's very controversial if you talk about it out in public because it's seen as unhygienic, even though it's a very natural process that most women undergo.
I mean, I completely agree. I feel like I feel like every woman has that, like, you know, story of like, oh, I was like in the middle of like, I don't know, science class or math class or something, and I felt uncomfortable, you know, taking my bag with me because I didn't want anybody to see the period products I was holding as I was trying to go to the bathroom. So I feel like we definitely need to normalize, you know, periods in a general conversation, because there's nothing bad about them. It is something that every woman has to go through. Every person with, you know, obviously a uterus and ovaries has to go through. So it is kind of like a thing of, you know, we should definitely normalize it within honor society.
Alrighty, so does anyone want to kind of like say any last words? No? All right, so thank you to whoever sat through this video. It is highly appreciated. And yeah, thank you to all of my panelists for taking the time out of their days to be here. And I hope you guys come back. And if you guys like this video, please like it and subscribe, I guess. And hopefully we'll be able to do more of these. Have a wonderful day, guys. Ciao.